breaking in Jamaica. Jamaican man chained before a British son of slave masters. Hey everyone, SkyWalker comes with a very important light today. These words must be said. A great emotion of love and gratitude surges through my being to that special core, that spiritual core, as I remember the works and values of Rastafari in my life. That beautiful divine spirit seemed to be a passing effect to Jamaicans, though. No, all I see seems like corruption, greed, and unthinkable abomination. I watch all day, blinking back the tears of the glorious works of ages from these Jamaican versions of timeless gurus, the ancients, the rock of the ages being wiped away. All their works are being wiped away. Still, I accept the divine changes that will come in this new era of cosmic resistance. We have seen over recent periods so much corruption. Hardly none is true to himself anymore. Boys try to become girls, girls try to become boys, and dreadlocks turn to Babylon in order to deceive the people that looked up to Rastafari, aiming to break down the work of our great divine wonders and beacons of light. We are undergoing a new dark phase, but only so that it will emerge into new and greater light. There are no authorized evil force above us. We have our own power. The people are the power you look for, and they can be complicit fools to their own tragedies or not. All else is the illusion. A Mark Golding or Andrew Holness can only wield the power that the people give to them. This is why it is better to be a Republican than a tributary or colony. The power of colonies bleed out into foreign spheres. No dreadlocks or maroon can deliver the black man's power to white lords. It is just the illusion. What we needed to do better was to hold and cherish the energies that wave of cosmic sages brought to us over past decades. We forget about these sages and we dirty and muddy what they stand for and what they stood for. Everything I came by, everything I am came from the spiritual seeds of ancestry. I cherish all those lessons that Rasta, Bongo Nigos High taught me. Today, the influences of Rastafari is being harnessed and reused for nefarious deeds. Sometimes it sends a spiritual ill will into the wind. People like a dreadlock man named Big Stone, a dreadlock Damian Crawford, or a dreadlock Isaac Buchanan can be used to contort the image of Rastafari and send adverse influences or adverse beliefs to the mindset of the people in terms of what Rastafari really stand for. No other black people on this earth have fought more against chains and the nooses around a black man's neck than Rastafari, especially if standing before a white son of slave masters. My people, stick a pin, stick a pin in the moment. Like and subscribe. Share this video and leave a comment. Now, let's get down to business. How can a man be disloyal to his own race without batting an eye or feeling remorse? These acts are always treated as outrageous as they are worldwide. Yet, to the Jamaican media today, the things that are most outrageous are of cases when people rightfully resist, like, for example, standing up for personal autonomy against a medicine or fabricated gender belief system, or like Donald Trump speaking against the mutilation of children by force and against their parents' will. Just because he is Donald Trump, he cannot say something right on a given day. They say he is taking their rights away and not that he is respecting parents' autonomy to protect their minor children. Just because Mark Golding is a British man It does not make him right even when he is wrong. Norm or stereotype does not always mean truth. People, fasten your seatbelts because your mind could be blown today by unconventional truths that must never be said to you, but I will say them anyway. Brace for the following. The truth is insane because it is hidden and therefore not ever was known. The people will always be the people's own power. There can be no other cosmic truth. Some Maroon leaders are simply superficial traitors these days. Simply becoming a republic is enough for Jamaica to start with. The same goes for all colonized black nations. The people are there to speak for themselves, aren't they? Well, here is a new truth that was old but unknown. In Jamaica, you may have noticed a lot of people running behind the white man claiming to be Maroons. It is not just for influence, but for a superficial right to rule. With education, Maroon influence among the populace had long depleted, and we realized they were, and many still are, traitors. People, the true and zealous patriotic Maroons, were destroyed, and the traitors were set up as patsy leadership. Because the Maroons are the true indigenous Jamaicans that met Columbus speaking an African language, and the phrase Jamaica itself is evidence of the most important African name to us. Jamaica is an African phrase that simply means marooned in Spanish are exiled in English. It is not no land of wood and water. The British will try to legitimize control over the land by making agreements with unpatriotic Maroon leaders who believe that they alone are rightfully Jamaicans, or they hope so. Those that were brought as slaves were equally marooned here. Plus, who is to tell which Jamaicans are related or are not? The only people who are never Maroons are Jamaicans, are those that did not come here on maroon vessels or as slaves. Indentured servants, for example, were not marooned here. We understand how the imperialists use all our influences and influencers to conquer us by. They use the unsuspecting black star or the beacons of a high culture as Rastafari. A part of buck breaking is symbolism. In these times, much of it is symbolic, like a company that makes an advertisement which omits the black father from the family, like black male stars being made to wear skirts as a symbol of subjection or to garner support for transgender in black societies, especially by using the energy of Jamaica's big brother influence that has long gone to the sea. I mean, to the fishes. If they can't find a Rastaman to fishify or use as influence, they will use a dreadlocks and present him as a Rastaman. For example, Mark Golding will go to Isaac Buchanan's meeting to declare him a Rastaman and draw the energy of Rasta as influence. Although Damian Crawford admits he is not Rastafari, he will conveniently present himself like one to draw that energy as well. So they have a lot of means to sell influence by, and some are most nefarious. People that grow under the influence of Rastafari, like myself, will naturally be offended. Not because they have no choice to be Rastafari, but because they are corrupting the truth of Rastafari. It is treasonous. I doubt that they could bring Muta to a political stage and ask him to help them to psychologically buck break Jamaicans by accepting a chain around his neck and begging the white man who stands like the Lord over him to pull it and free him. It is time for black people to stop believing that it takes white lads to free them. Big Stone was born free, so why his mother never told him, I have no idea. They could not even suggest that to Mota, but any man with dreads can be portrayed as a Rastafari. Big Stone had dreadlocks and he was willing. The Bible said that Judas was willing. A black man was willing to shoot Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Ghana, Kenya, Benin, and surrounding nations are doing their best to help France assassinate Ibrahim Traore and stop Burkina Faso from holding on to their own destiny and growing with lightning speed. They want every resource the black man has, but Traore, that black leader in Africa, ain't giving them shit. No, imagine, with the black world looking to Jamaica for inspiration, there is this black man on stage and a white son of slave owner family, John Golding, and his slave owner family, wife, whose family got reparations for having to free Jamaican slaves when slavery was abolished, is standing with the keys for the shackle. But breaking. This happened in Jamaica and it was less than a 1 day wonder. Not only is Mark Golding a British man, but he also mocks the Jamaican constitution and shows disdain for our values at every event. This must go down in history as one of the greatest public mockery and subliminal book breaking exercise of the black man. Only the white man could pull that lock, is the suggestion, for only that white man was given key and chain. Portia never get key chain to become lord over this comrade. Neither did Peter Phillips or P.J. Patterson. Well, one other comrade leader was made like next to Jesus by the PNP supporters. But again, it was the white guy, Michael Manley, who was given a rod claimed to have come from Selassie, which seemed like hogwash, and the title of Joshua, the Old Testament prophet, with the rod of correction. The rod was used to do the lashing too. Hello. They said, spare the rod and spoil the child. All these long-seed men were bent under the rod of Michael Manley. Psychological buck breaking. How come PJ Patterson never get a rod to lash the slaves with? Too black. As light as Holden's skin is, they would think he is black like tar and his nose is too big, like him come from Africa. But breaking continues, an evil psychological menace that Jamaicans seem to accept. These white people that find all sorts of ways to remind you about the Middle Passage and the trauma of your ancestors, but you do not understand the concept of DNA memory spells. This white Mark Golding comes to talk politics, but he is talking about your ancestors coming across the Middle Passage, putting himself in the picture to draw subliminal awe out of you, and then Big Stone subjects to a buck breaking white man named Mark Golding on stage. Mind science used for evil is sorcery. I'll tell you this all day, but you still do not listen. They will come and show you a noose or crocodiles. They will raise conversations about the Middle Passage and make the contrast with them as superior. Or, in the case of Golding, saying he came on a slave ship as a slave. Acting as if he did not know better, he allowed you to make the contrast by correcting him in your mind and then subconsciously seeing him as your superior. Then you subconsciously remember him as your master, I say. It's all but breaking by way of DNA memory spell. Even if you remember a slave ship, that memory of the slave ship becomes personal to you. It has an effect on you as a black man, a demeaning effect, which can be manipulating into buck breaking for the fickle minded. Call a spade a spade. Someone needs to call this out. Certain conversations you never should entertain with a white man. You call it out. That's why the brothers in America always call that stinking crap out. They will dress your heroes in skirts to cement that image of surrender. They are men in the persons of women, is the message. But they are your heroes. So who are you to think you are better? It's buck breaking. It's disgusting whether it's done by the opposition leader of Jamaica or not, because the black man's salvation is on a point of urgency, because it is important for our progress and for the survival and empowerment of our posterity. Think on these things, my people. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the Skywalker channel. Peace out.